Success isn't about what successful people do, but about what unsuccessful people refuse to stop doing. After studying thousands of people who never reach their potential, I've discovered that failure isn't an accident. It's a pattern. There are 5 specific habits that unsuccessful people practice religiously. And once you recognize them, you'll understand why 95% of people never achieve their dreams, while the other 5% seem to have everything handed to them. The truth is, unsuccessful people aren't unlucky. They're unconsciously sabotaging themselves every single day. They wake up each morning and perform the same rituals of failure without even realizing it. These habits are so deeply ingrained that they feel natural, even comfortable. But comfort is the enemy of growth, and these 5 habits will keep you trapped in mediocrity for the rest of your life, unless you break free from them right now. Before we dive in, I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. As I describe each habit, don't look for ways it doesn't apply to you. Instead, look for the uncomfortable truth of recognition. The moment you feel defensive is the moment you found your prison. Only by acknowledging these patterns can you break free from them and join the 5% who actually achieve their goals. Habit 1. They consume more than they create. Unsuccessful people are professional consumers. They spend hours scrolling through social media, watching other people live their dreams, consuming endless content about success without ever taking action themselves. They know every detail about their favorite celebrities' lives, but can't tell you what progress they made toward their own goals yesterday. They watch motivational videos all day, but never apply a single principle they learn. The average person spends 2.5 hours daily on social media, which equals 912 hours per year. That's nearly 23 full work weeks of pure consumption. While successful people are creating content, building businesses, and developing skills, unsuccessful people are busy consuming what others have created. They're spectators in the game of life, cheering from the sidelines while others score the goals. But it goes deeper than social media. Unsuccessful people consume gossip instead of learning new skills. They consume complaints about their situation instead of creating solutions. They consume excuses instead of creating opportunities. They've turned their minds into garbage dumps of other people's thoughts, opinions, and negativity, leaving no room for original ideas or creative solutions. The consumption habit is particularly dangerous because it feels productive. Watching a business podcast feels like you're working on your business. Reading about fitness feels like you're getting healthier, but consumption without application is just entertainment disguised as education. Unsuccessful people have convinced themselves that learning equals earning, but knowledge without action is worthless. Every hour you spend consuming is an hour you're not creating. Every minute you spend watching someone else's success is a minute you're not building your own. The world doesn't need another consumer. It needs creators, builders, and problem solvers. Stop feeding your mind junk and start producing value for others. Habit 2. They blame external circumstances for internal problems. Unsuccessful people are Olympic-level blame shifters. Nothing is ever their fault. It's always the economy, their boss, their family, their education, their background, or their lack of resources. They've perfected the art of victimhood and turned it into a full-time career. They spend more energy explaining why they can't succeed than successful people.
Listen to how unsuccessful people talk.
I would start a business, but the economy is bad. I would get promoted, but my boss doesn't like me. I would lose weight, but healthy food is expensive. I would learn new skills, but I don't have time. Every sentence contains an excuse, wrapped in the word but. They've built their entire identity around their limitations instead of their possibilities. But here's the truth that unsuccessful people refuse to accept. Your circumstances don't determine your destiny. Your response to your circumstances does. Some of the most successful people in history came from the worst circumstances imaginable. They didn't have better opportunities. They created better opportunities. They didn't have fewer obstacles. They developed better obstacle removal skills. The blame habit is toxic because it removes all power from your life. When you blame external factors for your problems, you're essentially saying you have no control over your outcomes.
This creates a learned helplessness that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You stop trying because you've convinced yourself that trying doesn't matter. Successful people take 100% responsibility for their results, even when those results are influenced by factors beyond their control. They ask better questions. What can I learn from this? How can I adapt? What opportunities does this challenge create? While unsuccessful people are explaining why something happened, successful people are figuring out what to do next. Habit 3. They prioritize comfort over growth. Unsuccessful people worship at the altar of comfort. They choose the familiar over the beneficial, the easy over the effective, and the safe over the significant. Their entire life is designed around avoiding discomfort, uncertainty, and challenge. They've created comfort bubbles so thick that no growth can penetrate them.
They choose the same route to work every day, eat at the same restaurants, hang out with the same people, and have the same conversations they've been having for years. They watch the same type of movies, read the same type of books, and think the same type of thoughts. Their comfort zone has become their prison zone, and they've thrown away the key. But here's what unsuccessful people don't understand. All growth happens outside your comfort zone. Every skill you've ever developed, every achievement you've ever accomplished, every meaningful relationship you've ever built, all of it happened when you stepped beyond what felt safe and familiar. Comfort is not your friend. It's your enemy disguised as a friend. The comfort habit shows up in career choices too. Unsuccessful people choose jobs based on security rather than growth potential. They'd rather have a guaranteed paycheck doing something they hate than risk pursuing something they love.
They stay in toxic relationships because the devil they know feels safer than the angel they don't.
They live in the same town forever because moving feels too scary. Meanwhile, successful people have learned to become comfortable with discomfort. They've trained themselves to see uncertainty as opportunity
and challenges as chances to level up.
They don't avoid difficult conversations. They seek them out. They don't run from problems. They run toward solutions. They've made friends with fear and turned anxiety into excitement. Habit 4, they focus on problems instead of solutions. Unsuccessful people are problem collectors. They can tell you everything that's wrong with their life, their job, their relationships, and the world. But ask them for solutions, and they go silent. They've become professional complainers, experts at identifying what's broken, but amateurs at fixing anything.
Walk into any workplace and listen to the conversations. Unsuccessful people spend their breaks complaining about management, gossiping about coworkers, and listing all the things that need to be fixed. But, oh yes, but they never volunteer to be part of the solution. They never raise their hand to lead a project or suggest improvements. They're content to point out problems and let someone else solve them. This habit extends to their personal lives, too. They complain about their finances, but never create a budget. They complain about their health, but never change their diet or exercise routine. They complain about their relationships, but never have honest conversations or set boundaries. They've become addicted to the drama of problems without the satisfaction of solutions. The problem-focused mindset is a trap because problems are infinite, but solutions create results. There will always be something to complain about. Something to blame. Something to worry about. But while unsuccessful people are describing their problems in vivid detail, successful people are quietly implementing solutions. Successful people see problems as puzzles to solve, not burdens to carry. They get excited about challenges because every problem contains the seeds of an opportunity. They don't ask, why is this happening to me? They ask, how can I fix this? And what can I learn from this? And how can I prevent this in the future? The shift from problem-focused to solution-focused thinking is revolutionary. Instead of spending energy on what you can't control, you invest energy in what you can influence. Instead of feeling powerless, you become empowered. Instead of being part of the problem, you become part of the solution. Habit 5. They seek instant gratification over long-term rewards. Unsuccessful people are slaves to immediate pleasure. They choose short-term comfort over long-term success every single time. They want the results of discipline without the discipline itself. They want the lifestyle of the wealthy without the sacrifice that creates wealth. They want the body of an athlete without the training of an athlete. This shows up everywhere in their lives. They choose to sleep in instead of waking up early to work on their goals. They choose to watch Netflix instead of reading books that could advance their career. They choose to spend money on things that make them feel good today instead of investing in things that will pay off tomorrow. Every decision is filtered through the question, what will make me feel good right now? The instant gratification habit is particularly destructive in the age of social media and digital entertainment. Everything is designed to give you immediate dopamine hits. Likes, comments, shares, notifications, streaming videos, online shopping. Unsuccessful people have trained their brains to need constant stimulation and immediate rewards, which makes them incapable of doing anything that requires patience and persistence. But success is always a long-term game. Every meaningful achievement requires you to sacrifice immediate pleasure for future gain. Building a business means working nights and weekends while others are relaxing. Getting in shape means choosing salad when you want pizza. Oh, yes. And going to the gym when you want to stay in bed. Learning new skills means studying when you'd rather be entertained. Successful people have developed what psychologists call delayed gratification muscle. They've trained themselves to be comfortable with temporary discomfort in exchange for permanent improvement. They understand that the price of success is always paid in advance. Mwah, ha. And they're willing to write that check while unsuccessful people are still looking for discounts and shortcuts. Mwah, ha. The marshmallow test proved this decades ago. Children who could wait for 2 marshmallows instead of eating one immediately went on to have higher SAT scores, better career outcomes, and more successful relationships. The ability to delay gratification is one of the strongest predictors of life success, and unsuccessful people have never developed this critical skill. Now that you've seen these 5 habits of unsuccessful people, you have a choice. You can recognize yourself in these patterns and feel defensive, making excuses for why these habits don't really apply to you. Or you can feel the uncomfortable sting of recognition and use it as fuel for transformation. The first step is awareness. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. If you saw yourself in any of these habits, congratulations. You've just identified the invisible barriers that have been keeping you stuck. Most people live their entire lives unconscious of these patterns, wondering why success always seems just out of reach. The second step is decision. You must decide that your current trajectory is unacceptable. You must get so sick of your own excuses, so tired of your own comfort seeking, so disgusted with your own blame shifting, that you're willing to do whatever it takes to change. Half-hearted efforts produce half-hearted results. The third step is replacement. You can't just stop a bad habit. You must replace it with a better one. Instead of consuming, start creating. Instead of blaming, start taking responsibility. Instead of seeking comfort, start embracing challenge. Instead of focusing on problems, start implementing solutions. Instead of seeking instant gratification, start building long-term value. Remember, unsuccessful people aren't unsuccessful because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity. But habits can be changed, patterns can be broken, and anyone can choose to join the 5% who actually achieve their dreams. The question is, will you continue practicing the habits of the unsuccessful majority? Or will you have the courage to break free and create the life you actually want? Your future self is counting on the decision you make right now. The choice, as always, is yours.